Guys, this is Rebecca, and oh my gosh, honestly, communication is so hard. Look at when I cry, my eyes turn colors. I just find it like so difficult. It's so easy for us to suffocate our emotions, and to just not say what's on our hearts, but our heart needs to say what's on our heart. So I've been practicing, saying what's on my mind and being sensitive and aware of how I feel. So now that I'm making more friends, I feel like, of course, when you make new friends, there are things that they may say that may bother you, right? So sometimes you may like end up talking behind their back, or you can confront them and say, hey, look, I don't like what you said. It hurt my feelings. And so, like, sometimes we could suffocate ourselves, right? So last night I had a dream that there was a little lizard in my nose and I took it out. Gross, right? And I had a dream about like wanting to take a bath, but I was scared of the electricity, like electrocuting me. So today I was at the doctor's and I totally forgot to mention something, so I went back and he was like, is it urgent? The cashier or the receptionist said, is it urgent? And I was like, well, and then he's like, oh, it's not urgent, whatever. So I felt like so suffocated, so I went back and asked him and said, hey, I just felt like you were dismissing me. And he's like, I'm really sorry that you felt that way. That wasn't my intention. So sometimes when, especially if we grow up with parents that are very dismissive, or for example, telling my mom, hey, like, I have an issue before my period comes and this happened. She's like, oh, that's because you sleep late, She gives a very dismissive, like, accusational answer to my health concerns. So instead of being compassionate, my mom basically yells at me. And so because of that, growing up, I was really afraid to kind of say what's on my mind. And I would just kind of like practice that. So I had an argument or differences in communication with a friend. I told him how I felt, and he basically said that I was childish and immature. And I said, you're not hearing me, right? And I basically just wanted to give up on communicating with this person, and I wanted to give up. I wanted to just, like, because there's so many emotions involved, and it was just so hard to communicate that I was like, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna not be friends with this person. Like, that's really... Hey, miss you too. But I realized, like, that's not really the best thing to do. Like, if you just keep avoiding communication with people, there's gonna be things that you have misunderstanding or confusion about. And are you gonna just ignore it, or are you gonna continue speaking up? And for me, I've learned, like, you have to confront that person even if you end up yelling or screaming or angry or whatever. If you end up crying, let that be, like, but that's part of friendship and relationship. You have to let it out. You can't suppress it or just avoid that person altogether, because that's honestly the easiest thing to do. So yeah, I mean, Asian culture is very much like suppress like how you feel. And but I've just learned, like, hey, if there's an issue, like, let's talk about it, and instead of suppressing how you feel. So is it difficult and hard? Yeah. But I just remember God saying to me today, like, don't wait on what you need to do or want to do. And I'm like, no. But I felt really depressed because I couldn't cry. But once I kind of told someone how I felt, like, the tears came and I felt completely normal again. I feel happy. I feel like my emotions are like I feel like I'm not drowning anymore, which is that feeling you get when you suppress how you feel and you don't tell that person how you feel. For example, when I told the receptionist how I felt, I confronted him in front of everyone, pretty much. I felt warmth come to my heart because basically I was giving permission to my heart to say what's on my mind, and it just brought love, right? So then when I called my friend and told him how I felt, and we came to an understanding, I realized like that's what love is. To come to an understanding of, hey, we had some miscommunication, there was misunderstanding, and this is how I feel, that hey, I don't want to lose you as a friend. And it's hard, like communication is so hard because we live in an age where like nobody wants to talk on the phone, like people don't even want to meet in person, they just want to block, unfriend people. And it is an easy thing to do, but it suppresses your emotions and it's not very healthy. So anyways, that's all. Bye, miss you too.